Horrid Henry and the Abominable Snowman. Chapter 1. Moody Margaret took aim. Thwack! A snowball whizzed past and smacked Sour Susan in the face. "Arr!" shrieked Susan. "Ha ha, got you," said Margaret. "You big meanie," howled Susan, scooping up a fistful of snow and hurling it at Margaret. Thwack! Susan's snowball smacked Moody Margaret in the face. "Ow!" screamed Margaret. "You've blinded me." "Good!" screamed Susan. "I hate you!" shouted Margaret, shoving Susan. "I hate you more!" shouted Susan, pushing Margaret. Splat! Margaret toppled into the snow. Splat! Susan toppled into the snow. "I'm going home to build my own snowman," sobbed Susan. "Fine, I'll win without you," said Margaret. "Won't." "Will? I'm going to win, copycat," shrieked Margaret. "I'm going to win," shrieked Susan. "I've kept my best ideas secret." "Win? Win what?" demanded Horrid Henry, stomping down his front steps in his snow boots and swaggering over. Henry could hear the word "win" from miles away. "Haven't you heard about the competition?" said Sour Susan. "The prize is—" "Shut up! Don't tell him!" shouted Moody Margaret, packing snow onto her snowman's head. "Win? Competition? Prize?" Horrid Henry's ears quivered. What secret were they trying to keep from him? Well, not for long. Horrid Henry was an expert at extracting information. "Oh, the competition! I know all about that," lied Horrid Henry. "Hey, great snowman," he added, strolling casually over to Margaret's snowman and pretending to admire her work. Now, what should he do? Torture? Margaret's ponytail was always a tempting target, and snow down her jumper would make her talk. What about blackmail? He could spread some great rumors about Margaret at school. Or— "Tell me about the competition, or the ice guy gets it," said Horrid Henry suddenly, leaping over to the snowman and putting his hands around its neck. "You wouldn't dare," gasped Moody Margaret. Henry's mittened hands got ready to push. "Bye-bye, head," hissed Horrid Henry. "Nice knowing you." Margaret's snowman wobbled. "Stop!" screamed Margaret. "I'll tell you. It doesn't matter, 'cause you'll never, ever win." "Keep talking," said Horrid Henry wearily, watching out in case Susan tried to ambush him from behind. "Frosty Freeze is having a best snowman competition," said Moody Margaret, glaring. "The winner gets a year's free supply of ice cream. The judges will decide tomorrow morning." "Now, get away from my snowman." Horrid Henry walked off in daze, his jaw dropping. Margaret and Susan pelted him with snowballs, but Henry didn't even notice. Free ice cream for a year, direct from Frosty Freeze ice cream factory. Oh, wow! Horrid Henry couldn't believe it. Mum and Dad were so mean and horrible, they hardly ever let him have ice cream. And when they did, they never let him put on his own hot fudge sauce and whipped cream or sprinkles, or even scoop the ice cream himself. Oh, no. Well, when he won the best snowman competition, they couldn't stop him from gorging on chunky chocolate fab fudge, caramel delight, or vanilla whipped tutti frutti toffee treat. Oh boy, Henry could taste the glorious ice cream now. He'd live on ice cream. He'd bathe in ice cream. He'd sleep on ice cream. Everyone from the school would turn up at his house when the Frosty Freeze truck arrived, bringing his weekly barrels. No matter how much they begged, Horrid Henry would send them all away. No way he was sharing a single drop of his precious ice cream with anyone. And all he had to do was to build the best snowman in the neighborhood. Henry was sure to be the winner. He would build the biggest snowman of all. And not just a snowman with claws, horns, and fangs. A vampire demon monster snowman. An abominable snowman. Yes! Henry watched Margaret and Susan rolling snow and packing the saggy snowman. Snow heap, more like. You'll never win with that, jeered Horrid Henry. Your snowman is pathetic. Better than yours, snapped Margaret. Horrid Henry rolled his eyes. Obviously, because I haven't started mine yet. We've got a big head start on you, so ha ha ha, said Susan. We're building a ballerina snow girl. Shut up, Susan, screamed Margaret. A ballerina snow girl? What a stupid idea. If that was the best thing they could do, Henry was sure to win. Mine will be the biggest, the best, the most gigantic snowman ever seen, said Horrid Henry, and much better than your stupid snow dwarf. Fat chance, Henry, sneered Margaret. Yeah, Henry, sneered Susan. Ours is the best. No way, said Horrid Henry, starting to roll a gigantic ball of snow for Abominable's big belly. There was no time to lose. Roll, roll, roll. Up the path, down the path, across the garden, down the side, back and forth, back and forth. Horrid Henry rolled the biggest ball of snow ever seen. Henry, can I build a snowman with you? Came a little voice. No, said Henry, starting to carve out some clawed feet. Oh, please, said Peter. We could build a great big one together, like a bunny snowman or a... No, said Henry. It's my snowman. Build your own. Mom, wailed Peter. Henry won't let me build a snowman with him. Don't be horrid, Henry, said Mum. Why don't you build one together? No, said Horrid Henry. He wanted to make his own snowman. If he built a snowman with his stupid worm brother, he'd have to share the prize. Well, no way. He wanted all that ice cream for himself. And his abominable snowman was sure to be the best. Why share a prize when you don't have to? Get away from my snowman, Peter, hissed Henry. Perfect Peter snivelled. Then he started to roll a tiny ball of snow. And get your own snow, said Henry. All this is mine. Mum, wailed Peter. Henry's hogging all the snow. We're done, trilled moody Margaret. Beat this if you can. Horrid Henry looked at Margaret and Susan Snow Girl, completed with a big pink tutu, wounded around the waist. It was as big as Margaret. That old heap of snow is nothing compared to mine, bragged Horrid Henry. Moody Margaret and Sour Susan looked at Henry's abominable snowman, complete with Viking horns, helmet, fangs, and scary claws. It was a few centimeters taller than Henry. Na, mine's bigger, boasted Henry. Na, mine's better, boasted Margaret. How do you like my snowman? Said Peter. Do you think I could win? Horrid Henry stared at Perfect Peter's tiny snowman. It didn't even have a head. Just a long, thin, lumpy body with 2 stones stuck in the top for eyes. Horrid Henry howled with laughter. That's the worst snowman I've ever seen. It doesn't even have a head. That's a snow carrot. It's not, wailed Peter. It's a big bunny. Henry, Peter, supper time, called Mum. Henry stuck out his tongue at Margaret. And don't you dare touch my snowman. Margaret stuck out her tongue at Henry. And don't you dare touch my snow girl. I'll be watching you, Margaret. I'll be watching you, Henry. They glared at each other. Henry woke. What was that noise? Was Margaret sabotaging his snowman? Was Susan stealing his snow? Horrid Henry dashed to the window. Phew. There was his abominable snowman, big as ever, dwarfing every other snowman in the street. Henry's was definitely the biggest and the best. Boy, he could taste that triple fudge, gooey chocolate chip, peanut butter, marshmallow, custard ice cream right now. Horrid Henry climbed back to bed. A tiny doubt nagged him. Was his snowman definitely bigger than Margaret's? Course it was, thought Henry. Are you sure? Rumbled his tummy. Yeah, said Henry. Because I really want that ice cream, growled his tummy. Why don't you double check? Horrid Henry got out of bed. He was sure his was bigger and better than Margaret's. He was absolutely sure his was bigger and better. But what if... I can't sleep without checking, thought Henry. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. Horrid Henry slipped out of the front door. The whole street was silent and white and frosty. Every house had a snowman in front. All of them were much smaller than Henry's, he noted with satisfaction. And there was his abominable snowman, looming up, Viking horns scraping the sky. Horrid Henry gazed at him proudly. Next to him was Peter's pathetic Pimple with his stupid black stones. A snow lump, thought Henry. Then he looked over at Margaret's snow girl. Maybe it had fallen down, thought Henry hopefully. And if it hadn't, maybe he could help it on its way. He looked again and again. That evil fiend. Margaret had sneaked an extra ball of snow on top, complete with a huge flowery hat. That little cheater, thought Horrid Henry indignantly. She'd sneak out after bedtime and made hers better than his. How dare she? Well, he'd fix Margaret. He'd add more snow to his right away. Horrid Henry looked around. Where could he find more snow? He'd already used up every drop on his front lawn to build his giant, and no new snow had fallen. Henry shivered. Brr, it's freezing. He needed more snow. He needed it fast. His slippers were starting to feel wet and cold. Horrid Henry eyed Peter's pathetic lump of snow. Thought Horrid Henry. Thought Horrid Henry again. Well, it's not doing any good sitting there, thought Henry. Someone could trip over it. Someone could hurt themselves. In fact, Peter's snow lump was a danger. He had to act fast before someone fallen over and broke a leg. Quickly, he scooped up Peter's snowman and stacked it carefully on top of his. Then, standing on his tippy toes, he balanced the abominable snowman's Viking horns on top. Yadam! Much better and much bigger than Margaret's. Teeth chattering, Horrid Henry sneaked back into his house and crept onto bed. Ice cream, here I come, thought Horrid Henry. Ding dong! Horrid Henry jumped out of bed. What a morning to oversleep. Perfect Peter ran to open the door. We're from the Frosty Freeze Ice Cream Factory, said the man, beaming. And you've got a winning snowman out front. I won, screeched Horrid Henry. I won! He tore down the stairs and out the door. What a lovely, lovely day. The sky was blue. The sun was shining. Huh? Horrid Henry looks around. Horrid Henry's abominable snowman was gone. Margaret! Screamed Horrid Henry. I'll kill you! But Moody Margaret's snow girl was gone too. The abominable snowman's helmet lay left of Henry's snowman was Peter's pimple, with its two black stone eyes, a big blue ribbon pinned up to the top. But that's my snowman, said Perfect Peter. But, said Horrid Henry. You mean I won? Said Peter. That's wonderful, Peter, said Mum. That's fantastic, Peter, said Dad. All the others melted, said the Frosty Freeze Man. Yours was the only one left. It must have been a giant. It was, howled Horrid Henry.